Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Articuno. Articuno is an absolutely really cool Pokemon. The downside being Ice Flying type, so it being hit by rocks is going to be a big thing. So you definitely need some kind of Rapid Spinner on your team or Defogger to get rid of those rocks because honestly Articuno can't come on them into them without having the heavy duty boots on. Now, I've got 4 sets today. The first set is a Choice Scarf set, but we will talk about that in just a second. If you could scroll down, click the like button, also subscribe if you haven't done so already, it would really help me out. So yeah, not subscriptions. First Articuno set, we have a Choice Scarf set. This means it gets 1.5 times speed. Now, a base 85 speed, that does mean that you will outspeed the majority of Pokemon that aren't Scarf themselves. And it just allows for you to be able to hit a little bit quicker in most scenarios. We've got Snowcloak as our ability. Now, Snowcloak means that you have a little bit more of an evasiveness stat in the Hail. You can also use Pressure if you want to, but honestly, Snowcloak is probably going to work. Well, actually, I think honestly both of these abilities are pretty terrible. Not going to lie, both of them are pretty terrible. But Snowcloak may be a little bit more usable in a Hail team. If you're not using a Hail team, then obviously Pressure will be better, but again, still not very usable. But move-wise, we've got Hurricane, powerful flying type attack boosted by Stab, and with your base 95 special attack stat being quite high, that means you'll be able to do a large amount of damage to the opposing Pokemon. Only issue with this, you need Rain for it to hit 100% of the time, and it does have a 30% confusion chance, which can be really cool, but obviously its accuracy is really low, and that's why I've also put Air Slash on this set, because you might not want to go for the Hurricane if you're worried about your Rain turns running out. You could go for Air Slash instead, which can be really helpful for your team. We've then got Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry is a fantastic move because it's super effective against water types also, and it's just a typically good ice type attack. And finally, we've got Extra Sensory just to hit a few different Pokemon that you may not have been able to hit otherwise, really. EVs go for max special attack and max speed with a timid nature, so more speed, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. So idea here is to go really fast and really hard sweeping. Now, typically Articuno isn't going to break many teams, but a late game sweeper is definitely something it could be used for, and especially like coming in every now and again, just getting that little bit of chip damage in, switching out, a little bit more chip damage every 10 turns or so, probably not even that. But yeah, that is how this Articuno can work, just like that chipping down rather than absolute breaking. Moving on to the second set, I've got much more of a supporting Articuno set. Now you can go for like the same set as I went for before, just with heavy duty boots instead of Choice Scarf. It's up to you what you decide to go for there. But heavy duty boots is really good on Articuno because it doesn't get hit by the Stealth Rocks, which obviously Stealth Rocks 50% damage immediately on switching. That's just going to be a big problem for you. Move-wise, I've put Toxic on here. Now, Toxic is a transfer-only move, so you would have to transfer the Articuno from a previous generation. Obviously, if you want a different move, you can just go for something like Air Slash as a good second reliable move. But Toxic there, it can rack up the damage on the opposing Pokemon. I really like having Toxic on Articuno. I think it's quite a good stalling mon, especially when it has Roost. Again, transfer-only move, unfortunately. But it does have that ability to recover itself. We've got Heal Bell, just in case you get status conditioned or another Pokemon on your team is status conditioned. You can use that Heal Bell to get rid of that. Obviously, if you've got a Pokemon using Flare Boost or Guts or Toxic Boost, then do be cautious of that, because obviously as soon as you get rid of that status condition, you have to come in again and get them to set it up again, which can be, again, really quite difficult to do. We've then got Ice Beam, powerful ice type attack boosted by Stab. Typically Ice hits a lot of Pokemon for neutral damage, so that works really well for you. EV-wise, I went for max HP and max special defense with a calm nature, so more special defense, less attack, and 4 EVs in special attack. Now, having the max special defense here allows you to be able to live a few more hits. Honestly, Articuno base 125 special defense is absolutely huge. And defensive typing, other than rock typing, you haven't got too many weaknesses that I can think of off the top of my head. You've got steel types, which can be a big problem for you, and you've also got fire types and also electric types. So yeah, you've actually got quite a few weaknesses, but hopefully they don't appear too often on there. I know particularly things like fire types do appear very often, the same with steel types, just Obviously, be cautious when you're bringing in Articuno because your opponent could have moves for coverage on it. Going on to the third Articuno here, now I've gone for a weakness policy version. You could go for this as a Dynamax or a not Dynamax set if you wanted to. It is entirely up to you how you decide to do this. The weakness policy works really well with Dynamax because you're going to have that double HP, allowing for you to be able to take that super effective attack more effectively. But if you don't Dynamax, obviously you've then got another Pokemon that can Dynamax instead. And that weakness policy allows you to double your attack and your special attack. Your special attack going from 289 to 400, 578, I think it is. So really, really high special attack there, doing a lot of damage to Pokemon. You've got Ice Beam, which is a powerful Ice type attack boosted by Stab. If you decide to go for the Dynamax version, you've also got Aurora Veil, because that Ice Beam will set up the Max Hailstorm, which will set up the heal for you, allowing for you to be able to set that Aurora Veil when you're out of Dynamax. Obviously, if you don't want to go for the Aurora Veil, you could go for, again, something like Toxic, or you could go for just another coverage move like Extra Sensory or even Hurricane. You've got Air Slash, powerful flying type attack. Again, if you want to replace that with Hurricane, you definitely can do that as well. And also Tailwind. Now, this is where like kind of the half Dynamax, half not Dynamax set can work for you, but it can also be problematic as you do have to rely on some parts of this when you're Dynamaxed and some parts when you're not Dynamaxed. You can't interchange them very easily, but you've got the Tailwind there to double your speed from 295 to 500, basically 600, I think it's like 590, which is very, very high, meaning you outspeed basically everything at that point. EVs, max special attack and max speed with a timid nature, so more speed, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. So very interesting set. This is the only set I could come up with for a special Articuno for a Dynamax version, but I did manage to come up with a physical version for her Dynamax Articuno, and this goes with Red Card. Red Card basically forces the opponent to switch out when it hits you with an attacking move. That can obviously put a little bit of a spanner in the works for your opponent, especially if they've just got the Pokemon they want to battle you into battle. We've got Rock Smash, which is a transfer-only move. You'll have to transfer from, I think it might be Auras. It is quite a while ago since we've seen Rock Smash now, but Rock Smash, which will turn to Max Knuckle, increasing up your attack stat. Brave Bird, which will turn to Max Airstream, increasing up your speed stat. And Steel Wing, turning into Max Steel Spike, increasing up your defense stats. This will allow for you to raise up your physical stats, as well as your defense and your speed as well. Your special defense being base 125, typically you don't need to raise that up too much. And I've decided to go for Roost when you're out of Dynamax, or if you're in Dynamax and really in a sticky situation, then you do have the opportunity to go for Max Guard there. But again, 2 transfer moves on here, so you would have to be kind of playful with this set and how you'd bring it around. I haven't really got an alternative for it if you cannot transfer the Pokemon, but that's your choice. Not your choice, but that's just how it rolls. EVs, you've got a couple of options here. You can go max HP, max attack for Adamant Nature, or you can max attack, max speed with either a Jolly or an Adamant Nature. It'd be up to you at that point what you decide to go for. Anyways, that is all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I'll see you soon.